everyone. Welcome back to AWS On Air. My name is Jeff Mershak. I'm a Senior Solutions Architect on the AWS DoD Air Force team, and we are live here in Washington, D.C. at the 2023 AWS DC Summit. And for this section, I have my guest, Shri, to talk about monitoring. We've been talking monitoring for all afternoon, but a different kind of monitoring. So, Shri, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks for having me, Jeff. Hello, everyone. My name is Shri Chinnasamy. I'm a Senior Specialist Solutions Architect in the Cloud Operations team at AWS. And it's good to be here.
Yeah, so the last section, we just talked a lot about CloudWatch. We talked about multi-account monitoring. But now we're not even monitoring in the account. We're monitoring the internet. So can you tell us a little bit about CloudWatch Internet Monitor?
Sure. CloudWatch Internet Monitor improves the end user experience for your application, and you get to improve the end user experience for your application, and you get to remediate issues faster for your application owners.
And it seems like it's not just your initial, like the web servers or your containers running your application, but it's the internet. You're monitoring different pieces of the public internet to see where potential latencies could be, et cetera, and possibly like maybe if end users in one city are having one response while maybe on the other side of the country, those end users are having a different response, and the Internet Monitor will help you see that.
Yeah. So think about a fictional scenario like this. Your monitoring dashboards show no sign of issues, but you receive customer tickets stating that your application is slow or your application is not available. And maybe the ISPs that they are using to connect to your application is having some kind of an availability or a performance issue.
Well, I mean, Sunday nights, the cable companies always take things down, and your cable modem starts blinking. I totally get it.
Yeah, and having the internet traffic data and the ability to paint a clear picture of how your application is connecting to customers through a diverse portfolio of ISPs could actually help you to find the root cause of the problem. And Internet Monitor, comes to rescue here. And using Amazon CloudWatch Internet Monitor, you will be able to find like which customer location and the ISPs are having network events while they access your AWS hosted application.
Gotcha.
And it gives it gives suggestions to improve the application delivery.
Yeah. So, okay. So I see you have a demo. Let's see this in action and see what the customers can see while they're using CloudWatch Internet Monitor.
Sure. Let me show you a quick demo of my monitor that I have created in CloudWatch Internet Monitor. I have already predefined this monitor, and it's been running for a while.
Okay.
And it has the data. So you would go to the CloudWatch. I'm in my CloudWatch Internet Monitor console, and I have an Internet Monitor called PetSite. And if you scroll through, you see the health scores widget, which has the availability score information, performance score, and a health event score. And the availability score basically tells you like what percentage of internet traffic is seeing an availability drop while they try to access your application. In this case, I see like a 6.4% of internet traffic is seeing an availability drop. I mean, if you see the availability score for this data point, it's 93.59, which you subtracted from 100. That's the 6.41% of the availability drop.
Yeah, and I imagine if you initially see this, 93% sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So now everyone has different SLAs and et cetera, so that might be below, but some people would see, oh, okay, 93, that's not bad.
Yeah. And Internet Monitor does give you the performance score as well. Here you can see like 46% of my end user traffic is seeing a performance drop. And if the availability or the performance score actually falls below 95%, Internet Monitor actually shades a particular and the graph where the availability or the performance score drops below 95% to compute the health event score for you.
And that's what the red bands
The
are.
red bands are,
Yep.
exactly. And if you scroll below, you can see all the health events that's actually populating for my application. And internet.
And where they're happening.
Yeah, that's what you see above in the map, actually. Internet Monitor has access to the historical availability and the performance score of the geographical location of your ISPs and services, and then gives you the health events. And and this shows, for example, like say, my customers in Chicago, Illinois, who is accessing through an ISP, reaching my application hosted in US West 2, saw an internet performance issue, and that particular that was like a 13% of the total traffic. And
if you select that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you just did. Okay.
Yeah, I just did. If you see, it shows like 13% of your total traffic is impacted by an internet performance issue between US West 2 and Chicago, Illinois, and it shows the impairment analysis of that particular event as well.
So it looks like, is this saying that there was 48% of folks hitting your website from that region for 10 minutes suffered some latency?
Suffered some network event, and that is a performance latency. Yes, you are right. Yeah, and that's what it is. And if you scroll to the next tab.
Actually, really quick, can you go back?
Yeah, sure.
Did it, when you selected the Oregon one, go down, did it, like, if you select the Chicago one again, did it like highlight it in the map for you to see? I was just curious.
It is already highlighted in
gotcha.
the map as well. So if you hover over your mouse pointer in the map, you can actually see the map shows the health events and the global traffic.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. And if you hover over to the historical tab, you actually see like 4 different graphs in here: performance score, availability score, bytes transferred, and the round trip time. This information is graphed from the CloudWatch logs, which my pet site, Internet Monitor, has created and published logs for my application.
Great. Yeah.
And if you go over to the Traffic Insights tab, you find something even more interesting here. You find the top 10 client locations who are accessing my application. Internet Monitor actually shows you the top 10 highest or lowest client locations based on total monitored traffic bytes. And if you toggle over the drop-down, you can choose.
I was just actually going to ask you to do that. Perfect.
Yeah. If you toggle over the drop-down, you actually see the geographic granularity, or the traffic summaries by the geographic granularity, and you can choose to toggle between from highest to lowest as well.
Yeah. Can you just, for an example, choose subdivisions? Let's see what that looks like.
The chart is going to take up to like 10 seconds, but you see the subdivisions.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah, and the geographic the subdivision for this granularity shows the traffic summary on the side.
Perfect.
And Internet Monitor does offer traffic optimization suggestions as well. So, for example, like how I would interpret is my customers from California accessing through this ISP to my application hosted on EC2 currently see 39 milliseconds as the time to first byte. But if I alternate that traffic to an application in US West 1 region, they would see a much lower time to first byte. So these kind of traffic optimization suggestions would help me to optimize my application delivery. This is a cool feature in this capability.
Yeah, it's interesting because, yes, you can duplicate your environment into another availability zone, another region if needed, but do you know when you need to do that? And do you know what the results are going to be if you were to do that? This is telling you both of those things. It's saying
exactly.
it would make sense if you did this, and here's exactly what it would look like if you did. So that's very valuable.
Exactly. And Internet Monitor does give you an option for the option to see a lowest time to first byte for a service region as well as for a CloudFront distribution too. So if I put a CloudFront distribution in front of my application hosted in US West 2, I would probably see a predicted in time to lower first byte than what I see in here, which is 71 milliseconds.
Yeah, this is great. So what do you need to do to get this running for your application?
Internet Monitor is plain simple to set up. All that you have to do is go to Internet Monitor console, click on Create Monitor, give a name for the monitor, choose the resources where your application's internet traffic is, and then choose what percentage of internet traffic that you wanted to monitor, like 90% or 100% of the internet traffic, and then you would just hit next, review the configurations, and then you are all set.
How does it work with CloudFront?
Internet Monitor, Internet Monitor does provide suggestions. So based on how your current setup is, if you choose CloudFront to be in, if you choose to put CloudFront in front of your setup as per the traffic optimization suggestions, you get to see an improved performance.
And we see in here, is this giving suggestions if you were to move this application to a CloudFront?
Yeah, if you choose to put a CDN in front of your application hosted in an AWS region.
I thought of that because you said you have to point to your resources that are serving internet traffic. So is this like, do you point it to a VPC that has the internet gateway, or do you to like an auto scaling group?
Yes, while you create an internet monitor, you will add resources to the monitor. That could be a VPC in which you have your application is, or it could be a CloudFront distribution, or it could be workspace directories.
Gotcha, that's awesome. Yeah, it's just really nice to see, because as an SA, we tell our customers, you should think about going into different regions, doing auto scaling groups, and we talk about knowing where your customer is, having your application as close to your customer as possible.
Yeah.
And I know large enterprises, they care a lot about time to first byte.
Yeah.
And now it's interesting that we can see, well, those values could be different in Chicago compared to New York City.
Exactly.
And so maybe you need to have a team do something special for New York City versus Chicago, et cetera.
Yes, yeah. And one other thing that I just wanted to touch up on is, like, we see two other options in the graphs below. It shows like how many current city networks are being monitored. This current city networks monitor will not exceed the maximum number that you have set in this configuration.
Okay.
And one other option is how many number of city networks that you need to monitor to reach the 100% of your internet traffic. And one other thing that I quickly wanted to touch before I close is integration with other CloudWatch tools. Internet Monitor publishes metrics, and those metrics are available in CloudWatch metrics under the namespace AWS/Internet Monitor. And you can create alarms off of those metrics and invoke actions. Internet Monitor creates and publishes logs in CloudWatch logs. You can create your own custom metric filter and have alarms and invoke actions off of those custom metrics.
As we've talked about all day today, maybe possibly SNS topics and having different things.
Yes.
People and services subscribing to those to maybe do manual actions or even automatic actions.
Yes. And one other way to create an alert is to create an Amazon event bridge rule that looks for a specific Internet Monitor event pattern and then invokes targets, which could be an SNS topic or a Lambda function, or you could have your own data pipeline at that point.
Yeah.
Feel free to refer to our public docs to learn more about our integrations there.
Yeah. Well, Shri, thank you so much for coming today. I learned a lot. This is actually the second time I've talked about Internet Monitor, so it's good to see. I think it's a really cool thing, especially if you're working on like the internet team of an application who cares about time to first byte.
Yeah.
I think this is a really exciting thing. So thanks again.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me, Jeff.
Yeah.
And if you haven't tried Internet Monitor, do try. And should you have any questions, please open an AWS support case.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, everyone, we are live here at Washington, D.C., the AWS 2023 DC Summit. I'm Jeff Marushak, and we're going to take a quick break before our next session, so don't go away.